What's going on, everybody? It's FREEDO, back again for Your Overwatch, this time showing you a gameplay with ranked randoms. Yes, a horrible sight to see. On this channel, we will be showing you our team playing together and some live comms in the future. However, I wanted to show the experience that I'm sure many of you had. And speaking of horrible experiences, this Hanzo utterly destroys me. Puts me up on the recon, and he aims where I strafe into, and I get picked off his Junkrat. Horrific. If you don't know, playing defense, especially on ranked, you're going to be punished severely for defensive mistakes, especially if you're the main DPS and you go out without really taking anybody out yourself. You just lose the point instantly, and that's what happened. My Junkrat play has been improving, but taking that death stung to my core. I was so disappointed in myself, and the Hanzo was able to see me around. And long story short, they were able to just push through the streets phase, because once a team has momentum, it can be really hard to stop them and establish a line. So we don't really stop them until this last point, and I hit a crazy shot onto the Soldier 76, going up at the top rope, take out the Hanzo as well. Widowmaker's nerfed. You don't say. So I want to talk a little bit about Widowmaker and ranked as well. She is nearly impossible to use right now in ranked. However, those of you who want to use her, please use with caution. Please widow responsibly. The way to utilize her and the way to think about her role on the battlefield is to get headshot picks from range. And that might seem obvious, like, oh, of course, Widowmaker does that. But you have to constantly be in a position where you're safe. If you're getting any heat whatsoever and your team can't successfully mitigate it, if they're throwing Winstons at you, if a Tracer's constantly zipping into the back line, and your frontline team either isn't built or isn't playing well enough to deal with that for you, you can't play Widow. Now in this game, at this last point, my team plays quite well, actually, for a ranked team. We do push up a few times to exploit an advantage, which the way to talk about pushing up is this. You explain it like this. The defense wants to always play safe so they don't die. However, if you get the first kill in an engagement, so if I, as Widowmaker, pick off the head of somebody at range, and now all of a sudden we're 6v5 in an instant, we can push in and aggress upon them and wipe them because we have the advantage, and we can take advantage of that. Whereas if we don't take advantage of that, a smart team will wait for that 10-second respawn, and that kill won't be as fruitful as it could have been because they can wait, respawn, regroup, and in 10 seconds. Whereas if we push them in those situations, which is kind of what we're doing now, every time we feel like we have a little bit of a man advantage, we're taking it. We take it to them, they start to regroup, we back off. And we do that tug-of-war dance back and forth. And that's where I'm able to get a lot of value out of this Widowmaker playing in the back line. It eventually does get more difficult as the other team probably realize what is harming them so much, it being me. Staying in the back and getting, oh my god, what a shot on the Pharaoh. She's coming around the balcony. Hide your kids, hide your wife, because Pharaoh's coming to get them. The thing with Widow is she can't be considered a damage dealer per se. And what I mean by that is Junkrat is the best defensive damage dealer. He does 120 damage per grenade and can spam one every 1.6 seconds. That's the fire rate, his rate of fire per second. So he can constantly be lobbing damage into the other team. Whereas Widow, you must think of her as a single target assassin. She can be very good at dealing fully charged shots into tanks if you're able to hit the headshot. But if you don't hit that headshot, you're so inefficient that you should just switch off Widow. It's crazy. But if we could just do some quick math, right? Say a Junkrat can shoot a grenade every 1.5 seconds, right? Or it can shoot 1.5 grenades every second, if that makes sense. So in 2 seconds, he's got about 3 grenades out. Okay? 2 seconds as Widowmaker, if you don't hit the headshot, will do about 100 or 200 less damage than the potential spam of Junkrat. That's the difference. That's what it comes down to. So Widowmaker has a higher potential, but it's so much harder to unlock that potential that pro teams, oh my god, the Pharah again! High pressure targets, the most important opening factor of the offense, getting taken out, is so important. Pharah is so important in this meta. I can't stress it enough as I go on this big kill streak now. Me killing the Pharah over and over again, or at the very least, keeping her at bay and forcing her to respect me, is what's getting us all this time. Because Pharah has the ability to just impose her DPS wherever she wants. And it's very difficult right now in this current meta to deal with her, making that the Soldier 76 is so important as well. And we had an interesting combo with this team comp where, and the Pharah is coming up to the upper left. She knows I can hit crazy shots, so she's not pressing her luck too much. Oh, just barely miss her head twice. Off to the side. I see her going close, and I don't actually want to push her there. I just want her to respect the fact that I'm nearby and could headshot her with my SMG, which bought time for my Reaper to come around the side. We drop a sound barrier, which actually wasn't needed. We were already winning that fight. Big mistake, actually, in hindsight. I'm sure he saw 20 seconds on the board, and he was thinking to himself, we just want to make sure that we secure this 20 seconds. But actually, if you have enough time to touch the cart, you have infinite time on offense. You have to remember that. So don't do something risky right at the end in the last few seconds of the game, because if you have touching distance of the cart, the time limit does not matter. Now, Pharah comes around the outside. She finally catches me off guard. My attention is too fixed on the main attack. I don't take care of the main target that I have to worry about as Widowmaker, and ultimately we lose the point because of it. I try to scoop on in, absorbing the ultimate as D.Va, and that's exactly why I picked D.Va, because I knew Pharah was going to be there. I could use Defense Matrix to stay alive as I flew onto the point, but no, they get 3 points out of this. The next stage of this conversation, we just have to show an example of why the sudden death rules right now are terrible, if you didn't know. Now, granted, they are switching this system, thank God, but the other team barely finished the map. They finished it in overtime as the time expired. Whereas you see us here, I cut out most of this gameplay because we more or less just keep trickling their respawns and push the entire time. I think you get 10 minutes and then maybe a little more when you've capped the first point. So having 4 minutes left, we were very efficient. We're at least 4 minutes faster than they were completing it, and we just walk it in here at the end. The sad thing is, it doesn't matter, because whether you finish in overtime or you finish in 3 minutes, it makes no difference. You're still going to go to sudden death, which is why they needed to change it, and they are changing it. What they're changing it to is that you'll get a similar time bank compared to Capture Point, which I think does work out for Capture Point, actually. It still doesn't make Capture Point the best mode, but it makes it less broken. Whereas now, say how we have 4 minutes left on the clock, right? We would able to have another attempt to push the cart because we have 4 minutes. But actually, because they finished with 0 seconds on the clock, I think we automatically win because they don't even have any time. I don't know how time back would work in that situation. I assume because they don't have any time, they wouldn't be able to even have another attempt. But regardless, we would have more time to work with in sudden death. I'd have to figure out how that works out when that comes out. But right now, we get the short end of the stick. And the teammates, the randoms, were joking about this. Let's see who's more skilled. Who's going to win the coin flip? The skill flip. And we lost it, technically. We don't want defense on this first point, because it's too easy for offensive teams to do something really aggressive that makes an explosive play and kills just enough of you to where you can't stabilize and they cap the point. Capturing points, the offensive team has the advantage in Overwatch. The game is geared towards allowing them to win, well, at least a cap, right? Whereas on defense, you want to keep conceding ground and grouping up and playing a little bit more tactical. Offense can get away with a little bit more aggression. So we were talking in the chat, in the team chat, and I was expressing to my team that I can't play Soldier. I'm not good as Soldier. It may not make sense because they're like, oh, Widowmaker hit scan should make sense. I don't like Soldier and I don't like McCree, the normal hit scan characters. I much more prefer the projectile characters or Widowmaker, who's hit scan technically, but is a skill shot, a very careful, meticulous skill shot. Whereas the other characters, you have to be running around more and burst firing, and I don't know, it gets confusing for me. I'd rather be leading my targets with projectiles. So in the last few seconds, we actually decide that I'll take our teammate's role as Reaper and he'll take Soldier for me because I knew I couldn't play good enough on it. And interesting, we're playing without a Reinhardt right now, and the strategy that we came up with was we are expecting them to maybe do some aggressive tank play where like 2 Winstons jump on the point or something, and that's why we needed the Reaper, because if you don't have a Reaper and they jump at you with 2 Winstons, it's very difficult to deal enough damage quickly to stop it. Winston's very powerful in that way. So instead, we don't even set up with the normal Reinhardt at the front door. We give them some ground to come jump on the point with us, and then we exploit them. I was watching the back, and now I realize that they're all at the front, so I don't need to watch the back anymore. But the Reinhardt is swinging at me. I see the mercy in all 5 of them, so I go into Wraith form to go for the big flank. Really risky behavior, and then Hanzo comes around the backside. He does hit me, but I take him out. Big risk, big payoff. I was sweating bullets when I made that decision. I realized I had nowhere to go. I had to make some sort of play to mix things up, and I Wraith formed behind them, and they could have turned around and been 6v1 on me, but I took that chance that even if they did get me in that scenario, that my team would be able to split them, and my mere presence of being behind them would be good enough. Luckily, the Hanzo didn't headshot me instantly, and I was able to make use of that flank. But man, this was an intense game. This is what ranked play is all about. How are you guys liking ranked play? Are you even playing it? Or are you done playing quick match? Now, me and my friends play quick play with some of our friends who just can't really handle ranked play, and we troll a lot. We do a lot of goofy combinations. We did a 6 Reinhardt strategy on offense on Hanamura where we all bunched up together and put our shields in a circle and try to get to them. It failed miserably, but it was a lot of fun. But ranked play is where we try hard and show what we got. So we will be showing live comms of our ranked play and our progress through the ranks. We're not too high, but we're not low either. I'm in the mid-50s, which I think is respectable if Seagull is near 70 or something. Being at 52, and I think I'm at like 54, 55 now, is respectable. So if you like the video, please hit the like button. Leave a comment below on your thoughts of all of the topics I brought up in this video. I know there's a lot going on. My name is FREEDO for Your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.